Good morning. My name is Gwaith Smith. I am one of the founders of My College Timeline, and this morning I am going to be talking with Tom Ellers, the founder of Method Test Prep, a test prep organization located on Long Island in New York. Obviously, both of these tests produce a great deal of anxiety for young people. How do you help reduce some of that anxiety for students going through this? And often some of that pressure comes from parents, as we know, and certainly from their peers. It seems to me to be something that we really need to spend a little bit of time with to help youngsters through this.
Yeah, absolutely. The most important thing is a student's confidence, optimism, motivation for preparing. So how do we reduce anxiety? And I apologize if this is going to sound obvious, but it's preparation, right? So we're all nervous about things that we know in our hearts we haven't prepared for. And the sad truth is that most students spend very little time preparing for the SAT and ACT. So there's anxiety because in the back of their mind, they know they really haven't prepared. So we need to take advantage of the fact that these are very repetitive tests. It's very predictable what's going to be on the exams. So since they're predictable, there should be less anxiety because you know what to expect. So taking a practice exam before the real thing is a no-brainer, right? Doing it under timed conditions. And when I say preparation, Gwaith, I'm not unrealistic. I'm not asking students to spend 10 hours a week preparing for the SAT and ACT. Most people don't have that time. Put in an hour a week, put in the 2 hours a week in the 8 weeks leading up to the test. Go through the most common questions that you're going to be tested on. Take a practice exam so you have a sense of where you're going to score, right? This should not be a black box. This should not be I have no idea what I'm going to get. This should be I know about where I'm going to land. Think about training to run the mile, right? So you run the mile a couple of times. You have a sense of about what you're going to run. So now if you're in a competition to run the mile, you might run a few seconds faster, a few seconds slower, but you know what to expect. The SAT and ACT are no different, right? So it's just preparation, reasonable amount of preparation. And then also, you referenced pressure from your peers. That's a really important thing to bring up because you're not competing against other students. And of course, I know us adults understand this, but we really have to try to explain to students that you're just trying to get the best score for you, which most students, there's so much room for improvement. So don't focus on getting a 1500. Focus on going from a 1050 to an 1150 or a 1050 to 1200. And actually, I'm sorry, this is a long answer to your short question, but it's an important question. The last thing I want to say is don't worry about those hardest questions, right? A lot of the anxiety is driven by, we all understand there are some very difficult questions on these exams. Well, guess what? The vast majority of students are not getting those questions correct. They shouldn't even be putting that much time into those questions. Focus on the easy and medium ones. Focus on acing those questions, which for most students is a very realistic goal. And your score will improve dramatically just from the easy and medium ones.